Hi guys, today we want to talk on the topic that says, it's never impossible to forgive. Sometimes we do not forgive quickly, or in extreme cases, at all because we feel it is impossible. This feeling can be the result of one of two things. Sometimes, people feel that those who have wounded them in some way are simply too bad to be forgiven and the offense is too great. More commonly, people feel they cannot forgive because they simply cannot bring themselves to do so, even admitting sometimes that they feel too weak or otherwise unable to bring themselves to an attitude of forgiveness. We will consider both of these situations in this lesson. Too bad to be forgiven? It is an amazing truth that anything and anyone can be forgiven if we are willing to forgive. That does not mean justice should not still be applied, or that people should not be punished when punishment has been mandated by society. But that is a separate issue. What we must always remember is that in God's eyes we have all sinned, Romans 3:23, and ultimately all sin is worthy of death, Romans 6:23. Viewed this way, it does not matter whether the sins of others are worse than ours. The penalty and punishment that was placed on the Son of God on our behalf is just as great as that placed on him by the worst of sinners, Romans 5:8. C.S. Lewis is often quoted in this regard, and his words are always worth remembering. To be a Christian means to forgive the inexcusable, because God has forgiven the inexcusable in you. As Christians, we must always ask ourselves, has the person who has done something to us really done anything worse than we have done to the Son of God? The answer to that question is always no. Unwillingness to forgive things, because they are just too bad, is usually rooted in either a lack of understanding of our own sinfulness or a lack of awareness of what was involved in the forgiveness of our sins. The Bible does speak of unforgivable sin, but what that sin is, and who is guilty of it, is for God to decide. Our responsibility is always to forgive, without exception. This may seem terribly hard in many cases, but the Bible is unequivocal on the matter. Even people who have suffered beyond our comprehension have found that they were able to forgive incredible things. Second World War Holocaust survivor Corrie ten Boom's experience in forgiveness is just one example that we talked about in Lesson 1, but people continue to find in every generation that it is possible to forgive what is seemingly unforgivable. In 2014, New York Times photographer Peter Hyogo went to Rwanda to gather photographic evidence of the forgiveness of the atrocities that had occurred 20 years earlier between the Hutu and Tutsi peoples, the two cultures involved in the 1994 Rwandan genocide that took 1 million lives in a country only half the size of many U.S. counties, often with incredible barbarism and cruelty. Hyogo found amazing evidence of reconciliation in the way Hutus and Tutsis now live side by side, even among many individuals who had thought they could never forgive the atrocities committed by their neighbors. One such person is Immaculée Lubwagiza, a Tutsi woman who hid, along with 7 other women, in a small room in a Hutu pastor's home while violence raged all around them and the rest of Lubwagiza's family was wiped out. Her story is not in itself unusual for this terrible genocide, but this woman's coming to forgive is something that can teach us all lessons. Lubwagiza has told how, after the killings were over, she met the man, now imprisoned, who had killed her family members. Understandably, this young woman initially believed she could not forgive this person, but she was convicted by Jesus' command to forgive in his words in the Lord's Prayer, where we request to be forgiven, as we forgive. I remember asking God, I can't forgive. What do I do now? Something in me said, pray with all your heart, mean every word you say. And that's how I started to pray. Forgive? I thought. No, I can't say that. I thought I would remove that from the prayer. But after that, I recognized that Jesus gave the prayer, that he is God and I am human. I make mistakes, but he doesn't make mistakes. And then I had to go to my knees and beg God, help me. I don't know how, I need you, and I can't say you are wrong here. And that was the beginning of forgiving. There was a moment of understanding that came like a flash of light. You think about Jesus dying on the cross when he says, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. It was like he was saying, they don't get it. I still get tempted today about anger. But when I feel that anger that takes away my peace, I beg God to help me. I know for sure that forgiveness is possible. Unable to forgive? Like Immaculée Giza, many people who have much to forgive often feel that they are not up to the job, that they simply do not have the strength or the desire to face such a task and may go for years feeling they are unable to forgive. But the truth is that it is always possible to overcome these feelings of being overwhelmed by the situation and to come to forgive. God does not expect us to do what we cannot do. If forgiving is more than we feel we can do by ourselves, we can and should ask God's help. Just as a father who asked for his son's healing told Jesus, "I believe, help my unbelief," Mark 9:24, so we must sometimes tell God, "I forgive, help my lack of forgiveness." Refusing to forgive someone or delaying forgiving them till the hurt subsides are equally mistakes. Invariably, the longer we leave something unforgiven, the less likely we are to ever forgive it. We will look later at the matter of how it is sometimes impossible to forget truly terrible things that are done to us or to those we love. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Idjoe TV, for more videos. God bless you.